Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to Relax and Read with Mrs. B. Go ahead and grab a comfy spot so we can dig into today's story. Christopher, please clean up your room. Written by Aita Sidhu and illustrated by Roy Condi. Christopher, please clean up your room. Christopher lived on Glen Place Avenue with his family. He was a fine young man who helped his neighbors with errands and did his chores. He was good at sports and came first in his class. Look at Christopher looking all confident. The one thing Christopher wouldn't do was clean his room. His clothes were scattered around. Books, papers, and magazines lay all over the floor. The dust was piling up. Christopher's room stank. The socks under the bed were cheesy. The sandwich behind the door grew fungi. The room was so untidy. The shoes smelled funky, and the fish bowl stank. P.U. That is one disgusting room. Christopher's mother refused to go into his room because she thought there would be snakes in there. His grandmother, when she visited, always fainted. His father never went too near Christopher's door, and when his friends slept over, they had nightmares about rats. Even the wind wouldn't blow through Christopher's room. When his family and his friends complained, Christopher just said, "I like my room the way it is. I can find everything. It's comfortable like this," and he refused to clean his room. Look at him. Looking all proud of himself that everybody's all scared of his room. His parents tried everything. Christopher couldn't have dessert, but he wouldn't clean his room. He couldn't watch TV, but he wouldn't clean his room. He wasn't allowed to have friends over, but he wouldn't clean his room. The socks under the bed were cheesy. The sandwich behind the door grew fungi. The room was so untidy. The shoes smelled funky, and the fish bowl stank. Look at him. I wonder what will get Christopher to clean his room. Oh, those poor fishies. Now the two goldfish who lived in that fishbowl were becoming quite concerned about their health. Christopher had not changed the water in their bowl in weeks. Look at that. And it was green and murky. They felt like they were choking. So the goldfish decided to find a way to get Christopher to clean his room. All that day they thought and talked, but they couldn't come up with a plan. That night, as they were having supper, they spotted a cockroach hurrying across the room. No surprise there, right? "Mr. Cockroach, wait up. Mr. Cockroach, a word with you," one fish said. The cockroach stopped and climbed up to the fishbowl. "Good evening, Miss Fish, Miss Fish. What can I do for you?" he asked. "We need you to help us do a job," replied the fish. "We need to get Christopher to clean up his room." "Oh, no indeed," said Mr. Cockroach. "I can't stay here. This room is much too dirty. I only take shortcuts through here to get next door. And besides, he likes it this way. He'll never clean up." "What about your friends? Would they help?" asked the fish. "They feel the same way," replied Mr. Cockroach. "They can't stand to come in here. The socks under the bed are cheesy. The sandwich behind the door grows fungi. The room is so untidy. The shoes smell funky, and the fish bowl stinks." Not even the cockroaches wanted to enter Christopher's room. The fish started to cry. No one would help them. They were doomed. Mr. Cockroach looked at the floor. He hated to see the fish cry. He felt sorry for them, but what could he do? Suddenly, he had an idea. Oh, goody. I hope this works because this room is nasty. Let's see. The grand plan. Don't cry, he said. I will speak to my people and let you know what we can do. And he went off to the big sugar feast at the store next door. That night, the cockroaches met and planned. Word was sent to the goldfish. The fish were happy because they knew that the cockroaches were just right for the job. Ooh, yay! At 11:30, it began. Thousands of cockroaches had gathered. Cockroaches from the east and from the west. Cockroaches from the north and the south. There were cockroaches of every kind. They put on their gas masks, and at 11:45, they started to crawl toward Christopher's room. Dun, dun, dun. Christopher was sound asleep. He had played a good game of baseball that day, shared a sundae with his friend Hal, and had once more refused to clean his room. Look at him enjoying his sleep. He doesn't know what's coming to him. But someday when he was older, he might clean it up. But for now, it was comfortable the way it was. The socks under the bed were cheesy. The sandwich behind the door grew fungi. The room was so untidy. The shoes smelled funky, and the fish bowl stank. By 11:55, the cockroaches were in place. The goldfish looked on as cockroaches landed all over the room. Every surface was covered in a mixture of shades and colors. Dun, dun, dun. At midnight, it began. A cockroach dropped on Christopher's eyes and he blinked. Another one dropped on his nose and he brushed it away. Suddenly, one dropped in his mouth and he woke up with a start. He turned on the lights, but he could not scream. He was too shocked. He tried to brush the cockroaches off his bed, but they kept coming and coming. Then the ones on the wall started to move. They spelled out, "Christopher, tidy up your room now." Oh boy, Christopher looked scared. Would you be scared if a bunch of cockroaches invaded your room? I sure would be. "I'll do it tomorrow," Christopher said. The cockroaches replied, "Tidy up your room now. We mean business." And they started coming toward him. Blue roaches, gray roaches, black roaches, brown roaches, striped ones, and polka dot ones, all kinds of cockroaches. They surrounded his bed, fat ones, skinny ones, big ones, small ones, and they kept coming. Oh boy. Christopher was terrified. He jumped out of bed and ran for the closet where he got the duster, the broom, the vacuum, and a laundry basket. Quickly, he started to pack up all his clothes and put them away. He looked up and a quarter of the cockroaches were gone. He dusted his books and shelves, tidied his papers, and looked up again. Another quarter of the cockroaches were gone. He swept and vacuumed, and another quarter of the cockroaches went away. He cleaned all under his bed, and the last quarter of the roaches went away, except for Mr. Cockroach, who stood on the dresser by the fishbowl. I guess he's the sergeant in charge, and he's making sure that everything goes as planned. Look at that, clean water for the fish. Christopher opened his window and he took the fishbowl for a good cleaning. When he returned, Mr. Cockroach went away too. The fish were happy and the wind blew through the room again. Everything was nice and clean, lights and bright, spick and span. Even Christopher felt better. He jumped back into his bed and fell fast asleep. Look at the fish, they're so happy. I too feel like he can breathe again, boys and girls, because before, oh man, it was just so yucky to look at. The next morning, Christopher's family was amazed. His mother came to see his room. His father came to see his room. His grandmother came to see his room. Even his friends came to see his room. But they were puzzled. What had come over Christopher? Well, Christopher isn't talking. But anytime there is a speck or a spot, a pile of dust, a crumb on the floor, or a bunch of clothes on the chair, Christopher cleans up. He remembers only too well the night of the cockroaches. The end. Boys and girls, thank you so much, for tuning into the story. Wasn't it wonderful? Oh, it was such a fun story to read. And I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.